So here we are, guys, at Fight Night, the greatest gladiator match in the history of the world. We have Sal and Nathan, and they are talking about Batman v Superman here on the Escape Pod. I can't believe it. We finally got here, and I guess by that intro, we kind of know where the sides are, but we'll get more into it. I'm Josiah.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Sal. It's nice being at the end of the list this time.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to throw you a bone.
Yeah.
Maybe the only bone you throw him.
I'm willing to meet with a series of checks and balances and compromises and
So you're saying this is a democracy? We talk to each other?
Yes.
Am I assuming?
don't-
Am I going to assume that from this intro that Nathan didn't like it?
I wouldn't say that I didn't like it. What I would say
Oh God. Here he goes.
is that I hated it. Maybe like
Good.
I've told you like parts of it.
No, good. I'm
like, lots
glad.
of-
No, Nathan, I'm really happy.
No, that's good. I mean, it's kind of par for the course.
We're back here,
point.
folks. Here we are.
Reunited, and it feels so good. Anyway,
Leave a comment if you want to get a fourth member who's on my side most of the time, because I would like
Leave
that.
a comment. Hey, nobody knows where I'm at, though. I've kept my...
I have an
Well,
inkling.
You have an inkling, but Sal... he doesn't know what I said to you in the car.
That's
You know,
true.
nobody knows.
And
you know,
I don't know fully know what you said to him. So
for an explanation,
Yes.
even though I'm sure the other video is already out, Thursday night on the premiere, me and Josiah went, and then the next 3 days I was at SakuraCon, so I had time away from the world, and then on one of those nights he went with Nathan, and I have no idea what transpired, but I knew, because Nathan was over here getting the camera, and I knew he wasn't gonna like the movie. I knew it. Like I didn't have a doubt in my mind. Like as soon as he left the door, I'm like, well, he's gonna go see that movie and not like it. And then the escape pod's gonna happen, and I'm gonna have to defend the movie. Here we are.
I mean, you don't have to.
No, I am.
You
I am.
could
Nathan.
just-
I'm gonna
you could-
defend
you-
it.
You could just submit.
No, fuck
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, for the record, I really like this movie. Like,
Oh my
I
god.
really like it. I thought it was great. I love the acting. The story was pretty amazing too. It was a good lead into the rest of the series. I'm excited for what's going to come next. I'm glad that Zack Snyder stopped tripping after Man of Steel. Because
He was tripping just on drugs.
yeah, because people have said like, oh, if you didn't like Man of Steel, you're not gonna like Batman v Superman. And I'm like, no, that's not true. I hated Man of Steel, and yet here I am.
So at least we're all united on Man of Steel.
Oh, yeah.
That at least is.
I mean, to be
some
fair, it has
common ground.
it has some cool things in it, but overall, it's not that good.
Man of Steel to me is like those few good things are like tiny particles of like Krypton floating through space, where they're like microscopic on scale, but
You know it's Krypton, but you're never gonna get the whole planet again. Just like you're never gonna get the whole real Superman again.
I'll never get Christopher Reeve Superman again. No, I'm just joking.
Exactly.
It's a stretch metaphor, but the point is, yeah, we have some delineated sides, and then me, I'm kind of so overall I think this movie is a complete mess. It's enjoyable, but I don't know. It's
I knew it. I fucking knew
what
it. I fucking
What?
knew you were
I
gonna
said
do
I-
this.
what I don't know.
Okay,
Hey,
I just want to say that we left the movie theater and we both really liked it. I liked it more than Josiah did, but we were both kind of praising it. And I knew as soon as he got to the outside world, he was not gonna like it.
listen.
Because once we were out of the bubble of our own enjoyment, I knew it was gonna change, and I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Listen.
It's because the theater magic wears off on some people. Other people are able to keep it alive and hopeful in their hearts.
No.
But-
See, if we go back to the tape, it's digital, but we'll say it's a tape.
Yeah.
We go back to the tape. You can tell when you and I are talking about Sal, I'm like, it was fun and I enjoyed it, and I did have that enjoyment, but at the same time I was like, there's a lot of things I have questions with. But Yes, unfortunately, it did kind of wane. It did wane.
I knew
in
it. I fucking. I know. No, like because I know how you guys act, so I knew it. Like
Well, I don't even know what that means. Just because I went to the outside world doesn't mean that The Witch or Deadpool got worse for me or anything. But
well, because you. Okay, to be fair though, everyone liked Deadpool, and people mostly like The Witch.
so you
That's
are
a lie.
implying you are you are implying
Yes.
that I am being influenced by the overwhelming negative reception when
Yes.
I myself have said that it does not deserve that giant of a negative reaction. I think
the populace influences your opinion sometimes.
I don't know if that's true.
I disagree. I think that like because I think people's views of movies do change over time. They just have to like go back and like rethink about it because you do get caught up in the movie magic, and it's happened to me before where my views of movies have soured or have improved over time. So
I think it's not that I am influenced by the populace. I think that when people bring up things as points of discussion, it starts to make me think about things in a certain way, like, oh yeah, that didn't quite make sense, or yeah, that was kind of a leap, or yeah, the editing there was really weird. And I think it's more of a thought that's already in my head. It just hasn't come out yet, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But
I would also argue that Josiah's opinion might be the most valid, considering he's now watched the movie twice. So he's
That doesn't make it any more valid.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying, like, because it's not like in your your rage at Josiah's opinion having changed sounds like you're trying to disvalidate what he's saying because you think that
it's not rage. It's more like a aha, I fucking knew it moment. But I'm not trying to devalue what he thinks. Okay, because anything you guys say is valid, no matter what. I'm not trying to devalue it.
Well, that's not true. I say many
unless we acknowledge that what we're saying is talking out of our own asses.
Yeah, but like if you have an opinion, I'm not going to try to like say that your opinion is like wrong.
Again, I think I'm more in the middle. I'm leaning towards that. I'm because I've watched some really negative reviews, and I've watched some positive reviews post watching it twice and kind of forming my own kind of idea. I still think I'm somewhat in the middle. I'm coming slightly more down on negative. Again, I think the movie's a mess, but it's not like you're looking for a needle in a haystack when it comes to some enjoyment. I think it's more. Actually, I think I kind of came to this point. There's certain people where I'm just kind of like seeing a pattern with films with them, and I'm just kind of getting off kind of the hype train with them, and I'm kind of like taking each movie they make as their own. I kind of got to that point with JJ. I'm getting to that point with Nolan where I'm just like, after Interstellar, I'm like, he's human. He's gonna make something that's not the best thing ever, and then with Snyder, I mean, I was never really on his hype train. I liked a couple of his movies, but I'm really just kind of in the thing where it's like, Snyder, you have to prove yourself to me now. Like, it's like every time you make a movie, it could go either way, really.
With Snyder, for me, it was like up until Man of Steel, I was like, you don't make you make very few amazing movies. In fact, only one amazing movie I can think of, Watchmen. But you do make solidly shot and like very nice looking movies.
Yes, I will.
At the very least.
Let's say right now, this movie looks fucking incredible.
Yeah.
It's very well shot, and I can see what's going on. Like Man of Steel, I had myself and many people had complaints about the shaky cam, especially because it's shaky cam with super speed. Whereas this movie, it's all really well shot. I'm not gonna ding the movie on that. It's very pretty to look at, very beautiful.
It's a little bit too dark and dreary in parts, but other than that,
I think that's the tone. It's not so much.
I know, but you need you can't just play that same note over and over and over. Even if it's a very pretty note, it does get old after 2.5 hours.
I think that a lot of the movie takes place at night, so it's going to be dreary. I think that's just where the movie's set and the.
Would it be a dark night?
No, it wouldn't. We start out with the opening of the movie, and it opens with a scene that, well, I presume if you're a fan of Batman, you've seen many times, but it's worth noting this is 10 years after Batman Begins. So
Yes.
if we're just going by film, this has been 10 years since we've seen the origin story.
This is also probably one of my favorite ones.
Yeah,
I would definitely agree.
It's well done. We'll get to it, but it is. It's very well done visually, and it's really short. Like I think it's like 3 minutes at most.
Yeah,
and like no dialogue.
Yeah, there's like no dialogue. So on that count, it's a pretty effective. I know in both the reactions I've kind of. Since I've seen this a second time, I get a little bit more what Bruce Wayne is talking about with his poetry. The best way I can describe it is he's basically saying like that Batman started out as something to raise him up from his despair, but now has just brought him back to it, I think is what he's saying. And that's kind of represented by Batman being a murdering kind of psychopath in the movie. And then at the end, he refuses to brand Lex. So we're supposed to see that as he's becoming the hero again, because I think as we've talked in the initial reactions, we talked about how we think that the solo Batman movie is going to be Red Hood, and that and Suicide Squad will lead into this.
Yeah, I talked to Josiah. I thought that spoilers, Batman kills many people.
I think someone counted 40. I don't know.
Yeah, approximately 40 people.
Is that kind of also Dream or just out of Dream?
No, that I think that was out of Dream.
Okay.
I can't confirm. I know I counted. It's at least 20 out of Dream.
But according to Snyder, he didn't kill him. The shrapnel did. Anyway, but no. So Batman kills like fairly like nonchalantly in Batman v Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So my thinking was that maybe the standalone Batman movie would be a prequel. And it's essentially the Red Hood story. And you've seen the animated movie, right, Sal?
No.
Oh, really?
Oh, you should. It's amazing. It's fantastic.
Do you know the ending of the like Red Hood story?
No.
Oh, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Oh, never mind. I can't say what I thought. Essentially,
Batman gets brought very low.
Yeah, like I figured that like the standalone Batman movie would be the Red Hood arc, and that is what like pushed him over the edge initially to resolve like the final confrontation in that story, and then that was like years ago. So since then he's only gotten more like I'll kill whatever.
I want to say
I'll attach a machine gun.
I want to say that like I'm not a super stickler for rules from comics, but so I know a lot of people didn't like that he was killing in this movie, but I thought it was not justified, but his reasoning made sense because of how they established it and why he was doing it, and then it made sense for why he stopped.
I think
I'll say I still question why the Joker isn't lying in a ditch somewhere with his head caved in. But
my thinking is that he was too busy going after Superman to even bother with the Joker. Who maybe Suicide Squad's happening at the same time, so maybe the Joker's in like prison. So maybe he's not a threat at the moment. He's focusing on I don't know, a god.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't knock it as much as other people do, and I would like. I think the thing I just needed like some sort of moment where like it does affect it, like where he has to like think about it, where he's like, I'm not supposed to kill, because in so many of the Batman stories, it's like if I kill even one person, Joker wins or something like that. So. Like going from that to just like towing a car around for the sole purpose of crushing people with it, like I just needed to see at least one moment where he's like, okay, I'm gonna kill, except
or since he's basically the villain of the movie for the first half. Have a scene where Alfred's like, dude, you're going too far. Like, you used to be tough on criminals, but now you're just like slaughtering them. And he's like, I know what I'm doing, Alfred. But
both of those scenes happened, right?
No, not really. Like he said, oh, you're branding people now. That's new. And then he doesn't really have the Michael Caine scene where he's like, no, listen, you have to be a symbol, represent something. There was He didn't really say anything like, why are you doing?
There was also the rage line Alfred has.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And then the moment where he realized he shouldn't be killing anymore was the Martha scene.
Oh, I got that. Even though I think he Well, I don't know.
the guy with the flamethrower is dead.
Yeah, he technically lit it himself, but
listen.
And-
And that's the thing. Whenever I talk about when I say that after that scene he doesn't kill, he basically he tones down because he's pissed because of that scene. So I didn't expect him to stop killing immediately, but he definitely, there's a very, very distinct change in his style of in his tactics after the Martha scene.
And
Yeah,
yes, and again, because I want to be I'll give a bunch of bones to Zack Snyder. I cannot completely judge Batman killing people in this movie till I see what happens before this and after this. Because if before he conveniently doesn't kill people and then after he's killing people, then there's no excuse. But for now, it kind of is resting in this limbo of it either works for you or you kind of wish it was gone into a little bit more. But it's again.
I personally, I like how it was done. I like how after it has those two lines, and then you see that he's basically lost his shit and is murdering people trying to get to Superman. And then once he's there, he realizes all that he's done and that he's basically become the thing he tried to stop. And he realizes that Superman's not really the bad guy, and it's so good.
We talked about Batman. Let's and we went on. So going back, the second scene is Metropolis. Mankind is introduced to the Superman. A very Tarantino title card. Nathan and I thought.
That was weird.
I didn't think it was weird at all, but all right.
If they either did like more shots like that or less shots like that, since because they just like have that, and it's like Mankind is introduced to the Superman. It's like, okay, so it's kind of going to be like Tarantino-y, where they introduce chapters of the story in that way. But then since that was the only way,
I didn't think that
weird
at all.
to me. That's fair.
And then I actually do like this scene where we get to see Man of Steel from the perspective of all the fans who are like, holy shit, there's thousands of innocent people on the ground. What the fuck?
Yes, I love this scene.
And it's really well shot, and Ben Affleck's looking pretty good. There's a Wayne Enterprises building, and the guy Jack dies, and a bunch of people die, and Bruce Wayne runs into the dust cloud, and he gets to see these really awesome shots of just heat vision slicing up his building, and you really get a sense of his, what he's witnessing is gonna like mess him up.
Yeah. And then we're introduced to Scoot McNairy's character.
Yeah, I forget his name, but he
Wally, the dude who loses his legs.
Wally, and he loses his legs.
Which I made the joke because he had his legs crushed and he was like, oh, his name's Wally. And I was like, man, this universe has a very dark take on Wally West.
Yeah, the Flash ain't running anytime soon.
Yeah.
So then he saves a girl, and then he looks up, and then it cuts again, and then it's 18 months later. I have some questions, like why, okay, so it's 18 months later, why is the stuff still, well, I kind of get the Indian Ocean thing, how the stuff's all kind of strewn about, but why is like the ship still in the middle of the city? Could they just not move it, or?
I assume it's since it's like alien, they didn't want to risk touching it at all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, because you remember the Superman ship in the Arctic goes like ape shit when anyone who isn't
true.
Kryptonian gets near it.
Okay,
so that one I got.
Okay, that's very true.
Actually, going back to that scene of Bruce like running through Metropolis and all that, I actually had a couple.
Yeah,
what's funny is these first two scenes, the Batman origin story and the Bruce Wayne and Metropolis bit, they were both like fairly similar experiences for me, where 95% of it was like really, really good, but then that last 5% made me go, what the fuck? Because with the Batman origin story, it's like really, really good. Then he starts flying with the bats, and I'm like, oh no, we're gonna go super artsy now. Oh, Snyder. Oh, okay.
Well, right, it was prepping you for
it was basically introducing you to the fact that Bruce Wayne's gonna have nightmares.
I know, but it was still
really good.
Know, it was a little overindulgent. Like if it had just started to happen, like enough to make me go, wait, what the fuck was that? That would be fine. But the fact that it feels like a really long shot makes me go, please stop.
Well, I'll split the difference. Both times it didn't quite gel perfectly for me. I kind of was like, what? But at the same time, I like it. It's kind of like, again, I'm kind of down the middle. I think if it had been like you see his feet lift off, then you have a really quick shot facing up of the bats carrying that just cuts real quick.
I thought it was weird, but it's not the weirdest thing you see in a dream. So I thought it was like maybe
or in this movie.
I guess
that's true, but I mean, like if I think I would have liked it more if like his little poem thing started earlier while that was happening, so I would register that that it was a dream, because otherwise I assume it's just like some weird artsy thing like Watchmen style, just kind of out of nowhere. And then for the Bruce Wayne running through the city, I thought that was really, really good, really well shot. There were two things like before the end that kind of annoyed me. One was it felt like they really downplayed how destructive the terraforming device was to the city. Because watching Man of Steel, I feel like 75% of the city is like done, and it's just like the outer ring of Metropolis is left. Because it looks like a fucking wasteland at the end of Man of Steel.
Yeah.
But in this opening, it feels like it got shut down way quicker, and it only took out like a couple blocks.
Well, you can't destroy where Bruce Wayne is.
Yeah,
yeah, I get that.
And see what I said, what I told Nathan, I think I disagreed with you about this when we talked about it in the car, but I said that that's the thing is I haven't rewatched Man of Steel and contemplated like the actual details to like remember, but I remember it being a wasteland. But then again, what I remember remarking to you, Nathan, was that Zod and Superman are going to go through like 20 more buildings before the fight's over. So,
well, yeah, but I still feel like the terraforming bit itself was a large part of the destruction. Like Superman and Zod fuck up a lot of the buildings too, but a lot of it is already fucked up by the device.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and compare it.
Yeah, but again, I just think that they're in a safer spot because you can't have Bruce Wayne in that kind of an area because then he'd die.
He'd just die.
Yeah, and I get that, but I don't know that
Nathan's saying that in his mind the scene was quickened up so it didn't seem like as much of the city was destroyed.
Yeah, but you didn't show the entire end scene of Man of Steel again.
No.
I have a theory for why this is, and I'll get into it like once we get to the senator hearings and all of that. So I thought that was a little bit odd. I also thought it was odd that Bruce had to call the people in Wayne Enterprises to evacuate, and he's like, yeah, okay, and he can clearly see the city getting fucked up like a block away, and like he waits for the call from Bruce Wayne to start evacuating. Like I feel like that would just be a knee-jerk reaction of, oh shit, building's getting fucked up, we should run.
That was a little weird.
Yeah.
But I think Nathan, you made the joke that they were just such good employees that they were like, no, we can't leave our shift.
They're on the clock. Yeah, exactly.
Either that or whoever was in charge, maybe Bruce knew that he wouldn't be able to handle this kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean,
know. He Jack clearly couldn't.
Clearly.
R.I.P.
Again,
BVS through BVS.
I'm going to say this right now because it might be brought up later as part of a discussion or argument. And, we'll probably have to discuss it when it comes out. But there is an R-rated cut that's like 30 minutes longer that's apparently coming. So maybe I know there's a lot of spots in this movie where it's clear that chunks have been kind of torn out where
I don't think that.
Well, we'll get to it, but there's clearly spaces where something was removed because if there's like 30 minutes, but if there's something missing or if there's a complaint about a detail, yes, it's possible that it's in the extended cut, but since that's not coming for a while and we'll have to discuss it when we get to it, for now we just kind of got to take it on its own.
Yeah.
This is what was presented and
exactly. This is what they decided like needed to be seen to get the entirety of the story.
No, I agree with that. I agree that if anyone in the comments is like, but what if that's in the shut the fuck up. Like, that's not out. Like,
whoa.
Theatrical review.
Yeah,
I'm not buying the home release.
I'll buy it for you.
Oh, thank you. But the last thing of the Bruce Wayne running in the city thing, and this, looking back on it, it isn't as jarring. It's more just a thing that kind of made me giggle. I love all the shots of him running throughout the city and like getting bits and pieces of the fight between Superman and Zod. I thought that was really well done. I've seen people like do side by side comparisons of events happening in Man of Steel with what Bruce Wayne is seeing.
Yeah.
So it's really accurate. I think that's cool. The one part that made me kind of like roll my eyes and go, oh my god, is the very end where he's holding the little girl and he looks up and he sees Superman and Zod falling down. Because that just made me, oh gee, they're moving so fat. What are the odds he looks at the right? Whatever.
Because he's Batman. Yeah,
exactly.
Batman.
But
I don't
other
care.
than
that was fine with me.
I know. Yeah, like I said, it's a minor tidbit thing, and since it's a comic book movie, I give it some leeway on being a little bit cheesy. Yeah. So those first two opening scenes, I really liked.
Yeah. Same. It was good. Good way to start. Good way to get me into it.